Thanks for joining us here on the Gulf Stream for an update on Tropical Storm Debby here. This is also going to be the next weather segment for today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith. I want to show you what's going on with this thing. And we're looking at a big rainmaker in the Georgia area and up into the Carolinas here. Check out the rain band showing up on our radar picture here. This is the problem with this is the slow forward speed. So it's only moving to the northeast at about 6 miles an hour, and an even slower forward speed is possible. We do expect it to drift towards the Atlantic Ocean where it may regenerate a little, and it's going to be pulling in moisture off the Atlantic and feeding it back into Georgia and South Carolina, where heavy rain will be ongoing. Places like Savannah, down towards Valdosta, Georgia, up into the low country of South Carolina from Edisto Island up to Charleston and Myrtle Beach, and inland from there up to Columbia. This is going to be a big weather maker, and sometimes it's not the wind that is the worst part of the storm. Obviously, we had some pretty impressive storm surge, 6 to 10 feet, places like Horseshoe Beach and the Steinhatchee area. Florida's Big Bend region really hit hard this morning as it made landfall as a hurricane. Now the focus is on the potential for some flash flooding. We do not see any rainfall across the central Gulf Coast. All the rain is to the east, and a few swells still rolling into Orange Beach today. It is hot down at the beach with that northerly wind. That always makes it hotter on the beach, and it's a little too rough for swimming. We will see better conditions there as we get into tomorrow. So checking out wind gusts, that's not really the main threat with this thing right now. You can see the wind at Jacksonville at 37 miles an hour, so not even seeing gusts to tropical storm force in that particular area. And the satellite picture, the cloud tops have warmed a little. So warmer cloud tops mean less intensity, but colder cloud tops mean more intensity. And we do have some impressive cloud tops over the Atlantic. That's that moisture coming in off the Atlantic Ocean. And as the center, if it gets back over the Atlantic, it could regenerate into a fairly impressive tropical storm. The current situation as of the 4 o'clock advisory on Debby, a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It's moving northeast at 6, the pressure 994 millibars. And looking at the forecast track, we've got a really erratic track and a very slow forward track. So check this out here. As we go into tomorrow, it should be getting close to re-emerging in the Atlantic. That should happen tomorrow afternoon. The heavy rain will be ongoing in Georgia and South Carolina. By Wednesday, 24 hours later, it's just sitting over the Atlantic based on the current thinking. Now, there's a possibility it doesn't get over the Atlantic, but the general idea is that it drifts back out over the Atlantic and then hooks back up into South Carolina and North Carolina. And on Thursday, it's still hanging around the Charleston area, where we could see up to 2 feet of rain. Then it moves from there on up into Virginia and the Carolinas. So this is going to be a long duration event. And one of the things we see, you may remember with Hurricane Sally when we had a weak steering environment, that's what creates these stalling systems. The models start to look like spaghetti. They just kind of models going all over the place. And they're different models, and they help us come together to produce a forecast. And the consensus, if you look at all the models, most of them take it out over the Atlantic and then take it back north. Yeah, there's some that take the remnants our way, but that's not likely going to happen based on what we're seeing. So the official forecast track is actually for it to move up into the middle Atlantic states. And National Hurricane Center has been doing an excellent job with the predictions on this one all the way through. So excessive rainfall potential. We do have a major flash flood risk with the area in purple, with a slight flash flood risk in the area in yellow, and some of the rain totals here could be over 10 to 20 inches of rainfall in Georgia and up into South Carolina and North Carolina. So we are really concerned about freshwater flooding there. We'll stay dry across the central Gulf Coast, and so Debby actually made it to Category 1 strength. That's the 4th named system of the year. The next one would be named Ernesto. And here's a look at the tropical weather outlook. We are looking at a 30% chance of some development in the Northwest Caribbean Sea, the Yucatan, and the Gulf. I just checked the latest runs of the GFS, and it's not really showing any signs of life, but we'll just have to watch this wave as it gets over into the central and western Caribbean Sea. That will be the next feature to watch, and we're going to have plenty of them to watch, and we're going to track them for you on Fox 10 News right here on the Gulf Stream and on our social media channels and our streaming platforms, YouTube. There are a lot of different ways you can get our weather updates, and we encourage you to download our weather app to stay on top of the forecast as well. And just to kind of give you an idea of what we're seeing this week, the weather pattern in Mobile, Pensacola, and the surrounding area, possible record-breaking highs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we're going to be updating heat concerns on next weather this week, as well as we're going to see heat advisories, possible excessive heat warnings this week, oppressive heat, record-breaking temperatures for us, and a tropical storm dumping heavy rain and flooding rains to our east. Thanks for joining us here today.